Alright everybody, I'm back with yet another video. Yeah. Still working on the 2008 Pontiac G5, as you can see here. If you saw my last video, I did the driver's side, or the passenger side tie rod. As you can see, it's all back together, all back on the ground. Now we're going to go tackle the driver's side tie rod as well. This time though, unlike the last one, which probably some cringy video, which it is because of trying to do it with hand tools, we have air tools. That's going to help. Just as always, a disclaimer, I'm not a professional mechanic. I'm just a person who likes to do his own auto repairs, try to save some money, just like everybody, like a lot of people do. Also, if you're using a jack, make sure you have a jack stand, just like before. It's safety, at least in the top three anyway. Also, just like before, if you need to take off these plastic hubcaps, don't use air tools on them. These are plastic, it's plastic lug nuts, plastic everything. You will break them. Use a 4-way, like I got here. Just unscrew them, and they come off pretty easy. They're not really on there like super tight, guys. As you can see, if you look down there, I don't know if you can see it. You can see the actual plastic lug nut coming off of the main lug nut. I know I didn't show this in the other video. Sorry, that's my 4-way. You can also do this with the included jack, or not jack, the included wheel removal tool that comes with the car, but I have a 4-way. They're fairly cheap, and they're not hard to acquire. Make sure they're all loose. If they're not, just take them off by fingers, like I am. And there's always one. Okay. As you can see, these are the lug nuts that you actually have to take off to get the wheel off. Alright, when I come back, I'll probably already have this jacked up and on a jack stand, so that way we can get into the actual meat and potatoes of this video. Alright, as you can see, I've got it up on the jack, tires off the ground, and as you can see, yes, I do have it supported on jack stand, because safety, you know, somewhere up there. Sorry about the audio here in a second, because it's going to go completely gone if you're listening on headphones. I suggest turning the volume down because this air tool was not designed for low volume. Sorry. And just like before, I broke them loose when the tire was physically on the ground. I know I didn't show that, but I mentioned it in the last video. Did the same thing even with the air tool, got them loose so I can take off the tire. Now if you look at this tire is in great shape compared to the passenger side, and both these tires were replaced at the same time. And this tire looks almost brand new compared to the other one. And just like before, there's our eye on the prize. Big difference is we're going to use the impact gun that I just had to take off that bottom nut, and hopefully it won't be as bad as it was from yesterday. Okay, I tried to get you guys a better shot here. Again, sorry for headphone users if you're listening, because we're going to try taking this nut off again. This time we're going to do, I have an 18mm socket on my impact gun, which is the correct size. Maybe not. Should be. There it is. Okay. Oh, what the hell? Why won't you go on? You're on here. We'll try this. That's the problem. Too deep. That's okay. Oh, bollocks. thing happened like yesterday. Even with the impact on. Just free spinning. Try tightening it up. They were tight again. Try loosening it again. Want to be careful not trying to do that, because that can strip the gear. Yuck. Grease. There it goes. Just had to put pressure on the tie rod. I don't know if you saw that or not. It looks like you did. Alright. That's the right way to do it, to take that nut off. And then the other steps apply. We're going to take off this lock nut right here. Take this lock nut off right here, just like we did yesterday. Hopefully we won't bang up my hand again like I did yesterday, but the same rule applies. 7/8 on the lock nut, and then a 3/4 on the flat spot. Right there. And then 7/8 here. Alright. I'm going to go take those off, and then I'll be... Okay, I guess I could have taken you guys with me after all. Little tip. If you look down here, I've just hand screwed this nut back on to keep this from popping out like that. And I've already actually got this loose, but it came off pretty easy with my 7/8 wrench. I got the actual lock nut broken loose. Alright, we're going to do the same thing like we did with the other one. We're going to unscrew it from there. That's the nut. That can go away. And then we're going to physically unscrew the tie rod itself. Ooh, yeah. This tie rod was... Ooh. It was binding. I think this was the problem after all. Ooh. That's something I did not expect. The whole shaft is turning. Have to get my vice grips. Be right back. Vice grips. There's a hexagonal part of the shaft. Best place to grip onto when you get them to lock. Holy crap. Come on. The bleep. Oh. Now it's an issue. What the heck? Huh. Alright, we're going to use our 3/4 wrench to go onto the flat spot to break this loose here. Oh wow, we're still spinning here. Okay. Don't have my vice grips on tight enough. There we go. Again, 3/4 wrench. There it goes. Maybe. Alright, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, we'll say 18. So as you can see, that was a bit different than the passenger side. Passenger side was 15 and a half. Alright, once I get the new parts in, we'll be back. Alright, before I commit this to the garbage can in heaven, so to speak, as you can see, this boot's torn. This grease boot right there is torn, right above where my finger is. That was allowing water in there. Because if you see, this has way too much spring. On the left is the new tie rod. On the right is the old one. As you can see, this one, I've got to put some effort into it in order to actually move the actual thing. This one, it's just jello, which is bad. As I said, on the driver's side, when I'd go far left on the driver's side, it would actually bind up. I'm thinking it's because of this. I'll know more once I put it back on. But the procedure is pretty much the same. We're going to take this nut off, which I'm going to have to put my vice grips back on to get the nut off. The new one, of course, comes with a nut, just like the last one did. And as I said, it's got a washer, a zerk fitting, which I need to put on. That's 7mm, in case you missed it in the first video. It's got a new lock nut, again, 7/8, that lock nut. And then the castle nut, which is, I know you can barely see it through the plastic. That's also 18mm, but it's going to be just like it was on the other one. If you, at least installation on the other video is actually not cringy, even though I had to cut the other one off yesterday because I didn't use air tools. I wanted to show that you can actually do this without air tools, but it does make the job a whole lot easier. I know there's going to be some people who say, well, you can do it without air tools. Yeah, you can, but you might also have issues like I did. So anyway, all right, I am going to pause it for now, and then when I come back, I'll have the new lock nut on, and I'll probably be spinning on the new, I'll have the, I didn't put the zerk fitting in yet, as you can see. I will do that, and I'll be back. Okay, just wanted to show you guys real quick that zerk fitting. I know I mentioned it before, but like I said, you have to be very careful not to strip it. The threads on these are absolute super delicate. Oh, that's crooked. There. Then just take this is a 7mm socket, and you just tighten it up. Now this, you don't want to go super tight, you just want it snug, and you'll feel it bottom out. No, not quite. Sorry about the poor camera work. It's hard doing this with just one hand, guys. Put this down a sec. There. There we go. There we go. I also have the lock nut off, which I'm going to go put the new. Just thread it on by hand. And you kind of want to get it until you're to the point where the old one was. Now you could put some lubricant on here, but honestly, usually by the time you get the old one off, as you can see, now I'm up to the part where the old one was, so now I should have enough threads to go screw on this. Okay guys, sorry about the bad camera angle, but you know, alright. So I gotta put this on 18 turns. Hopefully I got it in the frame here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, and there's, we'll call that 18. Again, just like before. Take your tie rod, put it into your steering part. Okay. And once you have it in there, then lock down your lock nut. Again, don't go super ham on this, since your alignment tech or your mechanic's going to have to break that loose anyway. And then we'll go with the washer and the nut. Again, get it hand tight. Now this part I do recommend using hand tools for. So I have a 18mm wrench, or ratchet with a socket, and then you just tighten it down. And you'll feel it tighten up here. Perfect. cotter key in, or cotter pin in, excuse me. Okay, that's good. And of course there's one needle nose over here. Needle nose. Just to get them separated, put one down underneath, one like that. And that's it, just to make sure that your cotter pin doesn't come out, and that's it, you're done. Again, just like before, take and just put your wheel back on. And your old parts, like that, it's just going to get thrown away. In my case, I'm also going to do a grease on this real quick, even though I already showed that. I might show that in either a separate video, or I'm just going to do it. And then put this back together, and then my next thing is I will go call up my mechanic, go schedule an alignment for this. And also, one other thing, big recommendation, do not drive this any further than you have to. In my case, I have to go 2.5 miles from my house to go to my mechanic, and that's as far as this is going to be driven unaligned. Because, yeah, it's going to have accelerated tire wear, and that's a bad thing. So, I would not recommend doing that. All right. That's it. That's all I've got. And we'll catch you next time with another car repair video. Bye.